If you have to sum up the election process that is taking place, do you think the February 2026 elections constitute a systemic shift in politics of Bangladesh? Or do you think it is a process through which new leaders and new parties are coming to power, or old parties under a new leadership are coming to power, who may bring about change in some time in near future? How do you see this?
Well, the election would have just be an election if it was just an election. But this election is being held along with a referendum.
Mm,
And the issue here is that the outcome of the election, that is the government that will come out of this election, hopefully there will be a government that will come out of an election and not a political stalemate. If that government comes out of that election, then it will have the additional, and not just the additional, it will have the immediate responsibility of implementing the outcome of the referendum. Now, if the referendum is a yes referendum, because everybody is saying that this will be a referendum that will be a yes referendum, if the referendum is yes, then this government will have to implement the results of the referendum. So, whatever the agenda that the government comes up with, when it goes to the, say, a political party, BNP or Jamaat and others are going into election saying, we will bring XYZ changes into the system and we will govern according to these tenets. But all these promises will have to take a back seat immediately because first of all they have to implement the agenda of the national that is the July Charter, because the July Charter's agenda will then have to be implemented. So then what does the July Charter say? The July Charter says some of the principles that will get ratified in that referendum will have to be implemented within a specific time span. So say in the next 100 to 140 days that will unfold after the election. In that period, the government that comes to power will have to implement these issues. So it's again a tricky terrain that the election, everyone wanted an election, but then now having merged that election with this referendum, it's some sort of a fused, it's some sort of a mixed entity that Bangladesh is going to meet on 12th of February. And then you have a lot of political violence that Bangladesh is naturally vulnerable to. And then with the broken down law and order system, now the Election Commission of Bangladesh has sanctioned a particular amount of money for the law and order process, but it is yet to be seen whether this will be sufficient to handle the law and order challenge prior to the election, because one of the biggest party in the country will not participate. That is Awami League. So what happens to the supporters of that party? Will these supporters play the role of silent supporters of BNP, or would they turn into disruptors and law and order challenge in the country? So these are the things that will determine the actual fate of the election. But what actually, for me, I think it's going to be again a very difficult experiment, because along with election you also have the referendum. And along with the election result, you also have the referendum's result. And then the referendum's result takes precedence above the result of the election. So again, uncharted terrain, and I really don't know how Bangladesh is going to deal with so many challenges. I think the interim government was supposed to just hold the election, but they have ensured that they will also have a referendum. So it's a really difficult time ahead for Bangladesh. As nothing looks easy at the moment, Sanjay.